Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena. Today's session we'll be revisiting one more Bijouism, which is embellish. Yes, we tend to forget as we draw our tiles that we can and we have the liberty to embellish our tangles, to enhance their looks, to add small little things to them so that they kind of look different or look even more beautiful, right? So Zentangle always gives us that opportunity. So let's revisit that Bijouism today, that is to embellish. So I'm just placing my border with a very light hand. Just relax yourself, sit in a comfortable position, make sure you have adequate lighting. Stretch yourself, stretch your fingers, take a few deep breaths, right? And I'm just going to start with a very simple string. So I'm just drawing this semicircle, or in fact, 1/3, 1/4 of a circle running across my tile like this. Yes. And I'm just going to ink it. I'm using my Micron pen here. Inking my string to write my Bijouism inside it, adding one more aura there. You can use your O1 to draw. I generally use my pen on camera, it is a little more prominent. Right? So inside this, again, if you have a bolder nib, or you can use your pen only and just add little extra ink there. I'm going to write embellish. Just going with the shape. Yeah, so that's embellish. Now let us start tangling. So what I'm going to do is start somewhere here, somewhat the center, and then draw these lines to create a tangle called nice. Yeah, so I'm drawing these sun rays or lines emanating from the center point, and then I'm going to add a V shape inside each like this. Yes, and then just join this turning of the V to the center like this. Yes, and then either you can add some lines or you can ink completely one part of the V. Yeah, so I'm just going to probably ink one part completely, and we can then embellish with some white dots. Yes, again leave one section, ink the next. Take your time slowly. Make sure you ink it nicely, don't leave empty spaces, not even small ones. Again leave one, go to the next. Take your time, slowly ink. Yeah, So I'll just continue like this. Yeah. So I'm now inking the last section here. Slowly, take your time. You can see the drama that inking adds to your tile. Yes. And then these small portions, you can just add some dots, dotted lines like this. You can add 2 black pearls here if you want, just to highlight your embellish. Yes. And then rest of the tile, it is up to us what do we want to do. So I'm just going to add some further lines, divide this section into further sections. And draw a tangle called Flamenta. Yes, it is a tangle quite similar in terms of stroke to our Zentangle original finery, but its look is a little bit different from finery. So let's see how. So I'm just going to add this stroke just like we draw for finery and add some extra thickness there. Yes, and then add some more of similar strokes, thick and thin. So it will be a mix of thick and thin strokes. You can add some thick strokes, you can add some thin strokes, add some weight here and there. But the basic stroke remains just like we do for finery. Yes. So I'm repeating the same stroke. However, just adding some extra ink here and there in between. Like this. Yeah. So let's do that for one more here, and then we'll skip one section in between and do the same exercise in a few more sections, and probably we can add some other tangle also. So now I've rotated my tile a little so that my hand doesn't move from my comfort position much. I am comfortable drawing the strokes in this fashion. So you have thicker sections, you have thinner sections, you have a mix of fine and bold lines. You can make them as bold as you wish to. Yeah? Take your time. Continue in the same fashion. And then going up. Like this. Yeah? So I'm going to do this same exercise in these two sections also, and leave center. We will add something else there probably. Let's see. How do we want to proceed? Yeah? Take your time. Started with one nice curvy S kind of a shape, and then adding some more. Some thick lines, some thin lines. Enjoy the process. Don't move your hand much. Once it gets used to that movement, just rotate your tile. like this. Yeah, right. So I'm done with that exercise. Now we have some spaces left in between, so I'm just going to ink my border, and then we can choose any other tangle that we wish to in these in between spaces. So let's go with a simple tangle called cubine. So I'm just going to add some cubines here. So if you want, you can divide this section into two, or if you don't want, you can just add some big ones there. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. So if you want, you can add floors also, whatever you feel like. So I'm just going to add cubine. So since we already have some inking here, so I'm picking up the other corner for inking. So cubine is one such tangle you don't really realize its importance unless you shade it. It looks like some geometrical pattern, but it assumes a lot of dimension once you shade it. So take your time and do that exercise. I think these can be bigger. Yeah. So I will do exactly the same for the other sections also. Whatever is visible. Take your time. Yeah. So I am done drawing my cubine. Let us now move ahead and shade our tile. So starting first with the Tangle Nice. Just going to add on the grid line that we started with. Just add a little shadow on the white part, not much. Make sure you don't cover the entire thing. As far as embellish is concerned, I'm just going to add on two sides. Coming to our flamenta, or you can call it a finery tangliation. The strokes are very similar. Right? And then our cubine. Take your time, slowly go to each. And now let's blend. Yeah. So just a slight touch on the nice. Make sure there is a small section white left. And then right? So that's about the nice. Moving on next to our embellish. I'm just going to bring it towards the center to almost the half and leave a slight highlight. Make sure the ends are dark. Yes. And then moving on next to our Flamenta. Darken one side. Next is our cubine. Yes, you can see how it assumes dimension once you shade it. Take your time. Slowly go to each. Blend the graphite. Yeah. Time now for the chalk. So use your chalk to highlight the other side so that you get a high and low effect. Yes. And then you can also add a touch on one side of your nice if you wish to, otherwise you can do away with it. And that's about it. I don't think we need to do anything else as far as this style is concerned. Now embellish, so always a good idea to add some black pearls here and there, since we added some here also. Just redoing it because it somehow got lost under the graphite. Yeah, that's about it. We don't need anything else. A slight shadow underneath, that's black there, so we don't have to do that also. So let's close our tile here. So I'm going to put in my chop sitting here. Sign and date your tile. Right? And I shall see you again with another new session. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.